Hey, what's up guys? Kyle here, and we got a little fun video because normally we're building stuff here on the channel, but I had the opportunity because we're at the biggest building we ever built, job site. My client is trying to get electrical service into that building. He's got his electrician here, Randy, who's a good dude, and they wanted to get this electrical service ran, which was going to require Matt, my client, to use his backhoe and dig a trench. Now, if you've ever dug with a backhoe, it's doable. It's not very fast, and it's a pretty messy job. It comes out in chunks, boulders. You gotta, you get big piles, whatever. We have the Kubota, the 97-2. I've had that now for about a year. I'm a partner with Kubota, and I also have an amazing attachment for it. So let's get into it. Oh yeah, guys, here we go. We got the, this is the Kubota branded Landpride. So Landpride makes Kubota attachments. This is the TR60. It is a beast of a trencher. I've actually played with it a couple times. I just did some gutter work at my shop, and so I feel really comfortable, but I've never dug. This is like packed gravel, sand. We'll see how it does today, but this is the 97.2 Kubota. It's a 96 point something horsepower machine. It's the biggest machine Kubota makes. I've got the standard flow, the high flow, which this trencher does require high flow. So I'm gonna get this thing warmed up, and we'll kind of get into this process, see what Randy wants me to do, where he wants me to trench. He's kind of leading this project, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about the machine, about the attachment. What I love about skid loaders, this is a CTL, a compact track loader, so it's not a skid steer. The amount of attachments, the different tools that you can have at your disposal if you own a machine, and a capable machine at that. So this machine is my favorite one I've ever ran. I just love that there's like an infinite amount of tools at my disposal at rental houses or wherever to attach to this to do just about any task possible. So I've gone and I've rented actual trenchers, the ones you ride on, the ones you stand behind, and they work, but this thing works amazing, and it's all from the comfort of the Kubota cab, which is one of the major reasons I went to Kubota in the first place, was all for this cab. All right, so with the high flow here, which is what we need on this trencher, you can tell that it's high flow by the way that it is. Look at the size. We got two sets of hydraulics. We got standard flow, which is in like the 23 gallons per minute. And then the high flow on this machine is, I think, right around 40 gallons. And you actually have the ability inside in the dash computer to change the flow rates and have multiple auxiliaries like set into there. So let's say you're running a trencher and you want a certain flow rate, you can select auxiliary 3 or whatever, and you know that that's what it is. And then maybe you're gonna go and use any attachment, whatever, doesn't matter, and you want a different flow rate. It's a cool little deal that you can do in these machines. It does help with not having to reset all the different attachments based on the hydraulic needs. All right, and then with this, we've also got, I do believe they call this a case drain here, and this is basically just going to allow the pressure to kind of flow back into the machine. You don't need it on every attachment, but some of them do. Cool thing about this machine is you can actually side shift this, so depending on what your situation is, we do have a lever over here, and you just flip this, and then you can switch between side shifting or the actual machine. So what I mean by that, let me show you real quick. So if I've got my auxiliary hydraulics on, I turned it off like an idiot. Okay, I can run the machine, or I can shift this over. Pretty cool, huh, Greg?
I did not know that.
Now,
really
what
cool.
this is, I think what this would be handy for is the auger to put your material back in. I thought about that the other day because I was trying to decide, could the auger be used to put the material, but if it's here, it's not gonna clean it good enough to go underneath your tracks, but I haven't tried it all the way out here, It's fine, you just had pressure on it, yep. There, so we're good there, and what I've got here is a depth control, so I can go 4 feet here, well, maybe just a little over 4 foot, but as I rotate and tilt this machine, this is just like using gravity to tell me what my depth is. So that's definitely handy. We want to be, I think he told me about 18 to 24 inches, which is probably not gonna be perfect. But all right, they're gonna get a hole started up there, and we'll see how it does. I've never done hard packed gravel with this machine. I've gone through tree roots, I've gone through hard packed dirt, but gravel's always a stickler because of we got some like 3-inch base in here.
Yeah.
About there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like just under 2 feet. I'm kind of digging down a little bit deeper because I can feel my front end coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think for depth, Greg? I'm just under 2 foot or just over 2 foot on my gauge.
Probably you are.
That's like the crest of the hill there. All right, let me take a couple minutes to share with you guys some of the specs about this 97-2 in case you want more information. Back here is the business end where we have a 96.4 horsepower 4-cylinder Kubota diesel engine. Now that big motor is a thirsty girl, so it has a 28+ gallon diesel capacity. And unfortunately, like most diesel engines, you gotta use DEF. So I've got probably 30 hours on it and I haven't filled the DEF yet, so it is pretty efficient. Now, like most skid loaders, the real beauty is in the attachment use instead of just running around with a bucket, which means you need hydraulics. This machine has a standard flow hydraulic and a high flow hydraulic. You're gonna get 23 gallons per minute with the standard and about 40 with the high flow. Also, you're gonna get 11.5 inches of ground clearance, which is great when you're working over rough terrain with rocks, logs, and other debris. Now you can tell this is a large machine, which means it weighs a lot. It's 11,500 pounds, give or take. And that is the main reason I bought this machine over a smaller machine, is I wanted a heavier machine to be more stable when lifting heavy loads. And believe it or not, the tipping load capacity on this machine is just over 9,000 pounds. Now that's the max tipping load, but the rated operating capacity is 3,200 pounds, which is 35% of that max tip load. Now this is a 2-speed machine, which means in standard first speed, I'm at 5 miles per hour ground speed, and I get 7.3 when I go into high speed, or rabbit mode is what I call it. And my favorite part about this machine is the cab. We have a pressurized cab, we have a roll-up door, instead of one of those swing out doors that inevitably will get damaged. It makes a nice wide entrance. We have great glass, good visibility, and we've got a comfortable cab, armrest, good controls, air conditioning, heat in this machine. And overall, it's just a super comfortable machine to operate with great capacities. And I even have a backup camera for extra safety. Okay. I think we're probably far enough into that trench.
Yeah.
That was way better than hand digging, buddy.
Oh, for sure.
What'd that take? 10 minutes, not even?
Was that?
10 minutes, not even?
Maybe.
Maybe? So right here is the depth gauge. You can kind of see they got 2 different models, so this gauge is good for the TR40 or the 60. I assume the 40 is smaller, so it doesn't have the same depth, but I'm just running right underneath 2 feet. Electrician wanted, you know, between 18 and 24, and that seems to be the right amount. What do we got here? It's random. That's probably like from our last job.
You probably.
Yeah. Greg, if you hit the side and push it back in, I'm gonna slap you. Jeez, that was easy. You know, we're basically pros at doing this, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we're getting paid, so that makes us a pro.
that is true, yeah. Sometimes it's good to work with an older guy, Greg, because you learn a lot of stuff.
Wow, they just keep coming.
I didn't say older, I said older. I mean, you're just older by a
Guess
couple
me at
days.
65, come on.
Got it.
I guess we're gonna have to get into school, Greg.
There we go. Well, that was a quick little project. The trencher performed great even through the rock. You could see it jumping around a couple times. It got stuck up on some rocks where it comes around and gets stuck somewhere, but pretty darn easy. Just flip it the other way, pop it out, and keep going. The next thing we're gonna do is Randy's just finalizing, making sure everything's good in the trench. And I'm gonna, listen, okay, I don't know it all. I never claimed to know it all. I've never extensively used a trencher. I've used this trencher now 3 times, and I've used the walk behind trenchers or the ride on trenchers a couple times in my life. I don't know, because this side shifts, I get that it allows you to then trench maybe closer to a wall or something, but I'm also wondering if I can utilize this, and maybe I'm just naive, and of course that's what you do, but if I slide this all the way over, I'm wondering if that'll help just push this pile right back in. I figure it has to. I mean, it makes sense. So yeah, you guys might be like, dude, Kyle, you kidding me? But hey, there was a first time for everything. You learn something for the first time, and I've never done it. So I'm gonna see how it goes. Are we good to push it back in?
Good. Maybe 5 foot either side.
All right. Well, we'll see if this works. Now you may be wondering, why didn't they just make that hydraulic? Because some of their attachments are hydraulic. I assume because you don't want to accidentally side tilt when you're trenching. You want to stay in a straight line. You only want to side tilt at either the beginning or the end of the trenching. So if you had a hydraulic, you might accidentally hit that, and it might, mess up the trench or mess up the machine. I'm not sure. It's going to be a little tight. Is it going to work or no? I don't think it's gonna work, dude. It's not gonna work,
No.
is it? That really sucks, dude. Well, that was kind of unfortunate because I think that's a huge miss or an opportunity for Landpride or Kubota to implement something to not only remove the material from the trench, but also put it back in. Otherwise, you've got to have another machine or a bucket or another implement to put on the skid loader or the CTL. So, hey, call me, we can work it out. Maybe there is something out there, or maybe I'm just an idiot and I did it wrong, but clearly that auger on the side is strictly for discharge, not to put it back in the hole. But anyway, that was fun. It was a nice little morning project. I think Greg and I don't know, hour and a half at the time, get it all laid out, dug up the spot here. I didn't do that, Greg did that with Randy. And then the trenching, the laying of the wire, and now homeowner back here filling it back in. So cool little project. Basically just want to take you guys through that, show off the machine, the attachment, I got a lot of other cool attachments for the 97-2, and I've been using them. Try to maybe implement them into some content. Let me know if you guys want to see more of the machine and what it's capable of. Some of those attachments. I've got stump grinder. I got like a Harley rake soil finisher. I've got grapple buckets. Awesome machine. The plethora of attachments make it even better. And yeah, so just a cool little video. Let me know if you guys like it with a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe for more construction related content, and we'll catch you guys on another video.